Well, hello world, and welcome to my CS50P final project, which is a student management system designed for the automation of marks processing of students enrolled at an educational institution. So let's just go ahead and run this program. So we're going to get different menus based on the domain in the username which we enter. So first, let's try logging in as a student. I believe this is the dummy password we created for the student, and this is the menu at our disposal. We can first print a list of all the courses we're enrolled in. So it turns out we're enrolled in these courses. We can calculate the course-wise as well as the overall averages calculated from the individual averages. Then we can print all the scores and averages in a tabular format, as well as display our rank in each subject and overall to find out how we rank as compared to our classmates. Now this is basically all that can be done as a student. You must be curious where all of this data is coming from. So this is what the structure of each of the CSV files looks like. Each line contains the GRN of the student, followed by the scores of the student, which have been entered as fractions. So the program is basically loading in all of these information for each subject and then converting these into percentages for seamless calculation and comparison. Now let's try logging in as a teacher instead. So I believe this is one of the teachers at our school right here, and this is her password. So a teacher can access data either for the whole class or for a particular student. Now for her whole class, she's a physics teacher, so she can access the information, the score details of all her students, calculate the class average, calculate the class ranks, which have been arranged in descending order to find out who's ahead and who's behind, and finally find out all basically get a list of all her students arranged in alphabetical order. Now for a particular student, we're obviously going to need a bit more info, so this is a possibility to get the average of that student, or we could also display that student's rank. Note that both of these GRNs which we just entered were valid GRNs. If we were to enter something that does not exist in the database for that teacher, then it's going to print an error message asking us to input a valid student ID instead. Now finally, let's try logging in as an admin instead. This feels illegal. Anyways. So now the admin has three options at their disposal. One is to print all student averages with their names and ranks, so that can be done. Note that these averages are basically the overall averages instead of the ones which are calculated from any individual subject scores. To find out teacher performance, their averages can also be printed, and the most interesting feature of them is probably to create a new student account. So let's say that the legendary David Malin wants to enroll in our little school over here. Shout out to him for teaching us this course. So he probably likes math, physics, probably chemistry, not so sure, biology, no, CS, absolutely. So now a new student account has successfully been created and a GRN automatically generated, which is plus one of the last GRN which was generated by the system, and an email which concatenates both of the first and last name has also been generated with a default password. Now, if we go over to our users.csv file, sure enough, a new account has been created, and the flags of those subjects in which this student has been enrolled in have been set to 1. And in each of the subjects we've enrolled the student in, the new student has appeared with all of the score fields empty, so that the teacher of the subject with access to the file can enter scores here as a fraction. So this is basically all about my program, and I hope you had as much fun looking at it as I had designing it, and happy programming. Thank you.